Hey guys, Todd Hubbard again. Second week after my first posting, and was thrilled to get several subscribers and some good comments and even a suggestion or two. So I want to say thank you to everyone that's subscribed and following me, and hope we can keep going. I'm going to try to say a lot less this time. Even my 10-year-old was making fun of me, so we'll try to do better. Let's see, I want to give a couple shout outs to your boy E the Trucker, Big Rig Talk, Jerry Ott, Anthony Foster, and Zombie Hunter 028. These guys are a few of those that I've been watching their videos online. They've done a great job, very educational, very beneficial, and a lot of fun to watch. Also joined Big Talk Radio, Jerry Ott and Tony Foster helps him with that. They do Google Plus, that's it, Google Plus, and do a hangout, and they do that every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, I believe is the correct time. So go on and check them out. It's a lot of fun. There's usually 5 or 6 or more folks in there chit-chatting about trucking and the industry, and very, very helpful. A lot to learn. Also want to give a shout out, and doubt he'll ever see this, don't know, but was watching videos of Donald Logue. Don't know if you know that name or not. He's an actor, but he's put up a video. He actually went and got his CDL, ended up buying a small trucking company, starting a small trucking company to try to provide some jobs out west. I think he lives in Oregon, but his videos were just unbelievable. He's very articulate, it talks about the subculture of trucking itself and the intrigue of it and the lifestyle, and he was very intrigued by it, and listening to him in his videos that was very, very encouraging, and so I want to just give a shout out and say thank you to him for that as well. But anyway, had a few suggestions, and one came from WBED1, WBED1, who said, while I was waiting before starting school, why don't I put up another video or two talking about my feelings and what I'm doing with my time now. So I thought I'd do that. So we'll see how that goes. I'm actually over a month into the process for me in terms of when I started thinking about trucking. So when I started out, feelings, that's a hard one, because that goes deep. I've had, I guess, every emotion you could have through this process. Starting out, you're frustrated because of the economy and your job situation, your ability to provide for families, so you're looking for opportunities. And sometimes the opportunities you want don't present themselves, so you end up looking at different things. Sometimes that's good, and sometimes it's bad. Sometimes it can be a blessing in disguise. So looking at all the different opportunities, sales jobs here, opportunity where I live in the rural area of North Carolina, there's nothing here. So there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of doubt. And when I started looking at trucking, I had a lot of doubt and uncertainty about that as well. Of course, there's stereotypes, and I know stereotypes don't encompass everybody, but stereotypes are out there about the trucking industry and what the public view is. And I have to say that when I started this process, those stereotypes kind of tainted my view of trucking. So I was very doubtful, very uncertain about what was going to happen. But I've always been a risk taker, I guess you could say. Being self-employed and entrepreneurial in the way I think has always come natural to me, and I enjoy the process of the excitement of something new and adventure and things of that nature. So, but there was doubt and uncertainty. There was also doubt and uncertainty of what my family and friends would think because of those stereotypes about me going into trucking. Those are concerns. They're still concerns. I've not told everybody in my family what I'm doing yet, so they're very very opinionated, to say the least, and so I'm sure I'll get their opinions on it one way or the other. So and then it's the doubt and uncertainty of how will I feel about driving a truck. If you've never done it, you can assume what you think you're going to feel, and what you'll like and what you won't like. But until you get into it, you really don't know. So that's still there. The uncertainty. There's aspects of driving a truck that intrigue me that I think I'll enjoy quite a bit, and there's things that I'm very concerned over. But I think that's natural with any job. But with a job like driving a truck, when it's new to you, it's a complete lifestyle change, and that can add a lot of stress. So been going through that as well. Worry over that lifestyle change. Biggest worry is being away from family. As I mentioned in my previous video, I have two sons, Jackson and Joel. Joel's 16 and Jackson is 10, and good boys and good family, and I like being here with my kids and my family. So want to make sure that I'm not disrupting their life. And one of the options that I had was to move out of this area, and I felt that was going to disrupt our lives even more if we tried to move to a more metropolitan area to try to stay in sales or get a corporate job. That wasn't going to work. So I think if I can find the right opportunity where I'm going regionally and can be home at least on weekends, that's manageable, and that puts a little stress on the family. The most stress on the family is that I can actually do it this time. So hopefully that'll work out. But there's those worries. And then there's the worry of the amount of money that you can make driving a truck. Everybody knows you're not going to get rich doing it, but it's a way to help pay the bills. And we've been smart in our later years. We weren't so smart in our younger years, but we've grown up and learned from our mistakes, and we have very little debt. So it doesn't take a whole lot of money to enjoy life when you don't have debt. So biggest thing at this point is making enough money for us to do the things that we want to do, to be able to pay for college coming up for the kids, still be able to take vacations and enjoy life a little bit at this point. So, and buy the things that we need to buy, not always the things that we want to buy, but we've been blessed over the years to get our heads straight and making better decisions. And so my wife's got a good job, benefit, she's in the school system. And so the money that I bring in will be helpful, but it doesn't have to be a whole lot. It doesn't have to be as much as I've made in the past. So, but there's that worry. Then a worry for me is driving an 18-wheeler, an 80,000-pound vehicle on the road, and the dangers of that, and the control being in my hands. And I guess because you're not set behind the wheel yet, you're still, I'm still fearful of that much power and that much weight, and if I make mistakes, then it can be pretty bad, and so that's always a concern. And that should always be the case. Even for veteran drivers, I would say that they need to have that concern, because if you stop having that concern, then well, you get lackadaisical, and that's where accidents happen. But more feelings. You get feelings of frustration. Frustration of when I first started looking into it, all the negative. A lot of negative in the industry, not just on the outside of the industry looking in, but inside the industry. A lot of negativity coming from truck drivers. I take that with a grain of salt, because I'm not sure if the majority of those truck drivers were somewhere else, or if that's all they've done and they think the grass is greener on the other side. I've done several things in my career. Like I said, it's all been sales related, even when I was self-employed. Recently I owned a restaurant. Talking about stress, midlife crisis, go buy a restaurant. That wasn't too bright. I should have just got the Harley. But it was dealing with employees and the stress of taxes and making sure they go home with a paycheck. A lot of times they went home with a paycheck when I didn't. And that's very stressful. In sales jobs, the quotas and the sales managers and the bosses on you all the time. Very hard, that corporate life. So I was also a stockbroker, a financial advisor. That was probably the most stressful job I've ever had, simply because I was taking money that folks had worked their entire life to save and worked hard to get, and they were taking my advice on how to invest it. And if I was wrong, whether it was my fault or not, then they lost it. And I found myself not sleeping at night, having a lot of aches and pains that came from stress. And I knew after 7 years that I was going to have a heart attack if I didn't get out, or a stroke if I didn't get out of there, so I did. So it's not always, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, and I understand there's good and bad in trucking, and there's issues that everybody in the industry has to deal with. But it was an amazing amount of negativity that I was getting to start with. However, through the forums, through research, and through getting online and watching videos on YouTube like this, found that there's a lot of happy people out there in the business enjoying it, and gave me a lot of hope. So that led into an excitement over something new, a new adventure, an opportunity, and being blessed to even have that opportunity. So that was really kind of full circle. Not that I'm still not worried, and not that I don't still have doubts, and that there's still not frustrations, but I am excited about the opportunity ahead and looking forward to it. And more than anything, I'm very grateful and thankful for being blessed with the opportunity. So that's kind of my emotional state through the past month, and will continue to be, I'm sure, up until probably many years from now. So I don't know that I'll lose any of those emotions or feelings to begin that I've started with. Some will be more prevalent than others, but that's it from a feeling standpoint. Not all warm and fuzzy, but we're getting there.